Sabrina Baker. I am the founder of Disrupt HR Los Angeles. We have an event coming up on May 7th in downtown Los Angeles at Boomtown Brewery. If you are not familiar with Disrupt, it is a unique HR event unlike any others around. Each speaker has about 5 minutes. They have 20 slides, and those slides auto advance every 15 seconds. And so I often compare it to a little bit of improv. It's a little bit of performance while also giving you really good information in just enough time to get you thinking about it. I'm so excited to have one of our speakers here today, Dr. Lycka, who is going to give you just a little bit of information about his topic, not too much because I don't want him to give it away, but his topic title is Disrupting Quiet Quitting, Disengagement, and Resignations, all things that we have been hearing so much about currently in the HR space. So I'm super excited to hear his thoughts on this. So first, welcome. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
You know, I am a professional speaker. I retired from being a cosmetic dermatologist back in 2019. And I started doing a podcast, which became a syndicated radio show. So this is what I do. I do radio all the time. I do shows all the time. And I go around the world as a professional speaking, helping businesses understand the importance of happiness in their business and how they can put it in their business so that their employees can improve their sales, they can improve their everything about their business. And when they do, businesses literally explode. They literally take off. And this is the missing link in a lot of businesses right now. They do not get that it's not the 20th century when everybody was being told what to do, and people had to work for quarterly profits all the time. Today's worker will not do that. They want a reason to be there. They want a reason to make businesses better. And you have to give that to them. And you got to give it to them so that they have it in their lives and their businesses.
Yeah. It's interesting. We have been talking about employee engagement for decades. I've been in HR a long time, and we've been talking about it for decades, but it's taking it and the correlation it has to the bottom line, to profits, to productivity. But yet it's taken, I think, this generation to make people realize, oh, it's serious. Like we've had to have people say no and say that they're
Well, it took
unwilling
the
to deal.
pandemic really to make us wake up to that fact,
Mhm.
because people had time to think for the first time in their lives. And the workers started to say, I don't want to be in a job that I don't like. I literally will not stay in a profession like this anymore. It's not the old days where people would stay in a job for 40 years. The great resignation happened during the pandemic, after the pandemic, and it's still going on.
Mhm.
According to Yahoo Finance, 40 to 50% of workers will quit within the next year. And 70% of middle management people will quit in the next year. So management has to pay attention to this. The leaders, the COOs and the CEOs have to pay attention, because there is this crisis going on. And it doesn't take many people leaving to hit to the meat of the matter. And then you don't have your business working like it used to.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think that companies are understanding now that this is something that they have to focus on. They have to dig into. It should be something that they realize. I don't know if they
Well,
all
and
do,
it's
but
not a
it should
quick
be.
fix. It's not about increasing salaries and benefits. You know, those work for a short period of time, but studies have shown that after about 3 weeks, those things aren't effective anymore. So you do have to be competitive in those things, but that's not the be all and end all to solve the problem.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. What's So you mentioned quitting. Obviously, we could have another kind of great resignation, another mass exodus of people. What other impact could you see to companies if they don't do something to combat this trend?
Well, I think the biggest thing is you have this disengagement goes on. You have these people that are literally at work, but not doing the jobs that you think they are. So literally there's this downward trend. And there's this whole spiral that goes down where people are filling spots and not literally doing the work that you think they are.
Mhm. Yeah. I assume in your talk on May 7th, you're going to give us some tips. In the audience is mostly HR professionals, but also business leaders, some tips on something that leaders can do to start to combat this. But why don't you give us just one today? Just one
Well,
thing, some piece of advice that you would give to leaders?
the first thing is you have to start with the employee and you have to really sit down and find out where they're at. You have to talk to them. You have to communicate where they're at. And you have to figure out what's going on in their lives and where their happy points are. And then you can facilitate it better. By talking, it becomes a better situation. And I think one of the most difficult things management does is management thinks I'm up here and you're down there. That's not the way it is. You have to make teams where every individual feels they're contributing to that team. Now, that is the magic that happens. That is really the thing that goes on that really solves the problem. And if you can get workers to contribute daily, that is really one of the magic things that go on. You have teams solving the problem. So, Sabrina, if you have an idea and I have an idea, we have two ideas. But if we have a whole team of ideas, we have all those ideas to the power of two. And guess what happens then? Wow, that's really what pushes things forward.
Yeah. Well, I am super excited to hear your talk and hear the other tips and ideas you have on this. I think it is a super relevant topic. We've been talking about it for a little while, but as all things go in HR and leadership, I think we talk about them far longer than we actually do something about them. So I'm excited to hear what you bring to us on May 7th, what you share in your 5 minutes to get us all thinking about how we can go back into our workplaces and combat this issue that's only going to keep rising if we don't do something. So thank you so much for joining me today. And I look forward to hearing your talk in a few
And
weeks.
I'm looking forward to coming to beautiful Los Angeles as well and being there at the Boomtown Brewery and talking to all those wonderful guests you have. And, there's 5 minutes there, but you also have the opportunity to meet me and talk to me as well during, when the breaks are going on and after the presentation. So take advantage of that because I'd love to chat with everybody that's there.
Yeah, awesome. I love it. All right. Well, Dr. Lycka, thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you, Sabrina. It was my pleasure. Thank you and have a fantastic day.
I'm on. Look at me, I'm on. Can't stop, keep going. Can't stop, keep going.